Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Capricorn October 2022 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. For those of you who are stopping by for the first time, and if you are, welcome. And to the subscribers, you know it's always great to see you. You are like my extended family, truly you are. And you know that we don't have any video advertisements breaking into this content, so you get to enjoy the experience. Now, speaking of experiences and good experiences, I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings from different parts of the world for Capricorns over the past month from the YouTube channel and YouTube community. So if you also would be interested to have or look at what's involved in a personal reading, just check out the information that's in the description box below. Now, we're going to take 5 cards from this rather unusual and I think really actually quite rare deck. It's not that I've actually seen it anywhere, I must say. Anyway, let's see what it has to show us. Well, lust. Now, there are Hebrew letters in this. I don't know if I'm going to spend any time at all really on the meanings of the Hebrew letters here, mainly because last month you will recall that we did a lot of Hebrew letters, Viking runes, and Chinese I Ching in our readings, and we took a lot from them there. And this deck is got enough other information coming into it to, rather than deal with those, there's the 8 of Swords, to deal with those matters as well. And so just go onto my playlist and you can see last month's what do you call it, reading. You can just speak the language, Nigel, and you'll see that. Now in your reading, the Hebrew letters, or I'm sure there will be letters or runes or something showing up in your reading in there last month's. But this month, here we have there also the 7 of Cups. And here we have the Fool. What a great card for you to have. Now I might make, let me do this, I might make a sort of a, what do you call it, a frame of the backs of these cards for your reading, because they are quite trippy and interesting for you to have a look at. So why don't you then come down now with me? Sit down next to me. We'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Then now I think you can see those. Very interesting, very interesting. Look, this is asking you in summary to have a greater lust for life despite some downheartedness that's here for a while, which gets lifted up, and it results in tremendous opportunities coming your way. Let's go into the detail, shall we, and see what there is here in this first card, the card entitled Lust. Well, let's have a look at the image first, shall we? Now, what do we have here? In this painting, a woman of strength holds a lion firmly by the tail in what for me is rather an erotic depiction. And it's the serpent tail that's there, and that is awakening the dormant, the sleeping Kundalini. Now in her other hand, she holds aloft the grail containing the sacred sacrament. Now the cup is marked with the emblem of the sun, and above it floats, look, this is a depiction of, if you were to stand in one place throughout the year and see where the sun travels at the same time every day, the sun would travel like that. And that's a depiction of that, I think, in this situation here. Now, the woman in the card is the moon, illuminated by the lion's sun. Now, 11 rays crown her. She is a woman clothed with the sun of Revelations, Babylon, and the beast who opens the 7 seals. Now, in the background here, you'll see there is a dark volcano behind which rises the sun and moon, joined together with, just inside here, in this indigo or violet or purple thing there are 7 stars. Now a great red rose blooms on the card, red for the red chakra of the base of the forces of Kundalini, and a rose as the symbol of the goddess and her spiritual power. Now in the foreground are 3 wheat shafts. There's the 3rd one there, and 3 sunflowers. I think that that is a subtle reminder of the solar trinity of the spiritual sun, the intellectual sun, and the material sun, or spirit, soul, and body. All 3 must be harnessed with passion and vigor. Now, she is for me the daughter of the firmament and the daughter of the flaming sword. It is Leo here, ruled by the sun, with Uranus exalted, and it's all about having a lust for life. Now, you've drawn this first, so this is coming out now as encouragement to you. Well, the sun rules and Uranus exalted. So not only strength here, but the joy of strength is exercised. It is vigor and the rapture of vigor that is at play here. It is about you having courage, you'll have strength, and you do have control of your life forces. It's also, I think, possible that it talks here of a great love affair. The feeling is that you see the chocolates. It's the feeling when you taste them. That's the feeling that's going on here. Now, this is about a multi-dimensional creativity for you. You'll have great talent, strength, and there's the integration of your animalistic energies, and certainly about overcoming old fears and conditionings. Now, the traditional name of this card is strength, but here it's called lust. Because, well, from my point of view, lust means more than physical strength. It also includes the joy in and the enjoyment of that strength. It also means passion. Now, this is really a representation of divine intoxication, divine ecstasy, almost a divine madness. In fact, the woman herself appears to be intoxicated, and the lion itself may well be inflamed by lust. Now, this is also a reminder to you that you are not going to be punished by God, because God doesn't have any moral issues about your love life. Guilt and self-inflicted punishment are wrong for you. I think this can talk about having a passion for a particular situation, and it's about engaging life to the fullest and being comfortable with your sexuality. Accept your carnal desires for what they are. Rejoice in them. But don't let them throw your life off balance. It could well be a passionate relationship here, maybe within an existing relationship or a new one, which has a great degree of sexual and emotional intensity. And it's also about doing something because you love it without over-intellectualizing and over-analyzing things. You see, if you are ready to accept all which you find in yourself, you will be able to move through everything with deep sensitivity, awareness, love, and understanding. What areas of your life would you like to live out more fully? What has prevented you from doing so in the past? Are you ready to deal with this anew? Take everything in with more awareness. Do you know, we often experience emotions such as love, sadness, pain, rage, or fear as obstacles only because we have never learned to use them as the firewood to build the fire. So say to yourself at the moment, I enjoy expressing my energy, vitality, and enthusiasm in all that I experience. I am a person of character and strength. I have unlimited well of creative resources to tap into and to express, and I enjoy living to the utmost. Well, let's have a look at another card here. And these are an interesting pair, these two, and this is saying to you, notwithstanding these, have this lust for life. But let's look at these here and see what there is in store. Well, you don't see an image like this very often, do you? Looks to me like we have the solar lion and the lunar eagle engaged in a tangle over a piece of string. The imagery comes from an alchemical illustration called the Battle of Sol and Luna, which is Latin for the battle of sun and moon, where opposites are engaged in conflict prior to union. Now, you've often seen that in your own life and in the life of others. But to combine together, the lion and eagle are components of a thing, if you put them together, which is called a griffin, and they would therefore, which is a mythical creature which affords great protection and which is a powerful guardian. But here they are working at cross purposes. Now we have this Vajra shuttle wound with thread which tangles around the creatures as they pull against each other. Now the 8 little swords that are here, they are arranged in the shape of a great wheel. Now the dagger wheel has sharp points facing in all directions and is wound with the other end of the thread that they struggle with. The wheel turns, the thread winds. Now untangled, it can be the guide to overcome a trap of unconscious repression, or it can be a fruitless and half-hearted tug of war over what is just a piece of string. Now the card is called Interference. I actually call it the Lord of Shortened Force. Now, it is astrologically Jupiter ruling the first decan of Gemini, that 21st to the 31st of May. Now, Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. And to get into Gemini, it needs to go 180 degrees. Say if that were Sagittarius and that were Gemini, it would have to go 180 degrees away to the other side of the zodiac wheel. So therefore, Jupiter is going to be in detriment in Gemini. And Jupiter is weakened, and the inquisitive nature of Gemini inhibits Jupiter. So weakened Jupiter means that you feel that you can't get what you want due to too many, which is the Gemini aspect, distractions, which may or may not be self-created. You feel as if there is some unforeseen obstruction about, or that you are somehow being held back, or that you somehow have bad luck. But probably more likely, it is that you are in fact holding yourself back because you have a fear of failure. It's almost as if you are quitting because you think you will fail. You quit before starting something. So there's a problem with endurance, and actually this worry which comes from thinking too much and maybe difficulty in making a choice. So let things rest and develop on their own for a while. As long as doubt concerning these decisions remains, don't go for anything new. Jupiter, though, is the bringer of unforeseen and unexpected change for the better. The problem which seems unsolvable now will find its own solution in its own way. Now, as I alluded to before, you could be having analysis paralysis, is what I call it, with your energy just scattered on endless, unproductive thoughts. Too many thoughts going on, Or maybe a solution is to take time out and do something different. And then let Jupiter come in and do its work and let things settle down. And then you'll come back with new eyes. But I'm looking at all these different knives around here, and it may be that you are wasting your time on so many things, most of which are not important, so you don't concentrate on the things which are going to move you forward. So ask yourself, what alternatives are you actually torn between now? Relax and just let things develop. And say to yourself this, with Jupiter in the background, I am relaxed and I trust in life. Well, let's have a look at this Seven of Cups, which is is connected to it, not kind of. Let's see what it has here in the image, shall we? Well, the first thing you'll notice is this dried and cracked ground on which there are, and from which also rise, 7 cups, which are green though, which means that there is growth, there is new things, there is joy, there is happiness to come. And this is, I think, emphasized by the rising from these cups of these little embryos which contain a snake in them, and the snake is a symbol of change, of positive change coming through. In the meantime, there is a mirage of water in the background that you might think is going to help water and dampen this ground. These two things here, I don't think that they are the sun, and obviously not the moon. I think that they are things called will-o'-the-wisps, which when you get into desert environments, at night you see lights. You see lights in the desert, inexplicably so, from no apparent source. And as you walk towards them, they move away. And as you move away from them, they come towards you. And in the background here, we don't see modern new buildings. Rather, we see the decaying structures of dead dynasties. Now, the card, as you see, is called Debauch, but I actually think it's better to refer to this as illusory success or illusionary success. It's Venus ruling the 3rd decan of Scorpio, 13th to the 22nd of November. Now, Venus is, as you would know, the planet of love, and Scorpio is about intensity, in-depth transformation, and exploration of the self and others. But I also see here, with the number 7, I have a mystical association with Venus there as well. But from a sacred point of view with that number 7, I also have an association with an area of divine emanation prior to the creation of the material universe, which is, by the mystics, referred to as victory. So you do overcome any downheartedness or melancholy which you're feeling during this time. But turning again to the astrology, Venus in the card and Venus in the numerology. So there's a double Venus, and Venus does not have any handbrake applied here. So she comes into Scorpio unchecked. The thing is, though, is that Venus is in detriment in Scorpio, and so she can't express her sensitivity and emotions properly. Instead, they can be channeled into negative addictions and intensity, which is the darker side of Scorpio. And it implies that you could indulge in excess reactive behavior due to something that has affected you deeply and changed you in a way which throws up its own set of problematic issues, behaviors, and ways of looking at yourself and the world. Maybe you've tried to cover over old wounds, but the diversionary tactic hasn't helped. After every binge, and I'm thinking about things here like alcohol, drugs, food, for example. After every attempt at flight, the face of your old problem rises all too clearly before your eyes and colours your experience of the situation, making you feel gloomier and gloomier. Now, as I say, the secret title of the card, well, it's no longer a secret now, I guess, for me, is Illusory Success. And the energy here represents the working of Venus in the sphere of the mind, where her influence is by no means clear-sightedness. You believe what you want to believe when you are under the influence of Venus. Is there some disappointment you have not worked out? Have you experienced something that was perhaps a little bit too good? Have you overtaxed yourself or overdone things in any way? Now, looking at both of these cards together with Jupiter here, let me say this to you, that, do you know, sometimes horrible things happen to good people. Life isn't fair. And it can be heart-wrenching. And if you're having one of those dark days, it's okay. It's okay to feel that darkness. When challenges come back to back to back and it seems like something is after you, something is attacking you, something is attacking your journey, look for the lesson in it all. You grow through what you've gone through. The question is, are you willing to go through it? Now, when bad things happen, what are you going to do? Are you going to allow this horrible situation to dictate the way you feel and how you handle it? Are you going to fall over, fall down, fall apart? Or are you going to face this issue with courage and resolution? You know darkness. You've seen it and felt it before. So this time, embrace it. Embrace the darkness. Don't look away from it. Own it. Walk one step after another. Never surrender. Remember that even the most wretched of times. Don't pause. Remember not to stop. Remember not to hesitate. Take that first step and start walking. Always hold your head high and let your spirit rise. You are a child of the divine. Don't allow yourself a switch-off button. I know there is always an answer. Hold on to that fundamental quality of faith. Have faith. Know that on every side of your pain is something good. Well, let's go, shall we, to the Prince of the Chariot of Waters, which is the Prince of Cups, as most commonly known. Let's see what there is to say about this. Well, he bears an eagle as his crest. Do you see that? As he is the result of the union of the king and queen of the suit, he is shown born in a chariot, drawn by an eagle above a lake with rippling waters. Now, the eagle is the highest form of Scorpio, incidentally, representing the exaltation above matter and into spirit. The eagle can see into the waters with miraculous clarity, and as esoterically he is heir of water, the Prince of Cups uses reason to plumb, to go into the depths of the soul and emotion. He is, above all, a philosopher, I suppose, with a clear vision, a bridge between intuition and reason. The currents and the fluidity are representative of the airy part of water, like the wave-like fluctuations of the serpent of Scorpio, and transformative life energy. So a lot of Scorpio around here, and I also see Libra. Now, this speaks to me, and court cards, of course, are of either gender, as someone who is subtle, crafty, an artist perhaps, who wears a calm surface mask, but underneath there is an intense passion. He has the ability to detach. As I get that Libra energy here, and Libra is an air sign. So he can detach from the heavy, intense and controlling emotions of Scorpio. Now, this card shows poise and control of the emotions. But being detached and cool can often be a front for insecurity and fear. Usually the feminine asks the masculine to go deeper into his feelings, to join her in the place where the two meet as one in relationship. If it's someone else you know, it could be someone who is completely without any conscience in the ordinary sense of the word and is perfectly ruthless. He cares intensely for power, information, and his own aims. And he feels no responsibility for others and can't be relied upon. I think this is also saying that you should accept your sexual needs and passions and live them out with awareness. You will discover a lot in this process. Give yourself totally to the experience and observe yourself in it. Now, what secret wishes are you unwilling to admit to? Spend some time each day visualizing yourself in your desires without getting lost in them. And say this to yourself: I now live out my sexual desires. This makes me more vital and fulfilled. And finally we come to the Fool, or as I call it, the one who walks without fear. Now, here we have some interesting imagery here. This is the tiger of fear, and it says that you have conquered fear, just as the Fool has done. These snakes here, they act as 1, 2, 3, what I as a mystic would refer to as the 3 veils of negative existence, because the Fool comes from, if you like, the Garden of Eden into matter and through those veils of negative existence. He represents 0 degrees Aries, which is the vernal or spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. And he has the colours of green and gold, which refer to that. This crocodile here, in the ancient days in Egypt, the Egyptians thought that the crocodile spontaneously gave rise to life through the eggs because it couldn't work out. They couldn't work out the difference between male and female crocodiles. But this speaks of great opportunity coming your way now. You are ready for a new beginning, perhaps even a quantum leap. Give in, dare to leap, even if fear attempts to hold you back. Trust the voice from within your heart. What is the tiger of fear for you? How do you imagine the courageous leap into the new? What does it look like? Where does your heart call you to go? Say to yourself, I now follow my heart. I am open and ready to go wherever it may lead me. I am a radiant being. I am a living treasure. I honor and value the unlimited resource of courage which is within me. I respect the nature of whom I am. There is nothing to fear. Well, great set of cards for you. Well done. Well, what an absolutely fantastic reading for you for this month of October. I hope you enjoyed the experience as much as I enjoyed providing it to you. You know, it's great. I love doing your readings for you each month. I really do, and I love it when you come by and stop by and have a look at it. It's good. It really makes me feel great. Now, one thing to remember, of course, is this: that until I see you again, remember that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.